There's a lot of hot takes I have in Attack on Titan, and I'm not too sure a lot of people like them. For example, some of these would be that Hanji Zoe isn't a good character, that Mikasa Ackerman sucks. But one thing I do know is that Ymir is overrated. She doesn't do bad shit in Attack on Titan besides causing Historia and the Scouts a whole bunch of unnecessary trouble and trauma. With her being born in Eldian and Marley, she was doomed from the start. It's the equivalent of a black guy growing up in Alabama in the 60s, a recipe for fucking disaster. With her life already starting off terrible, she ended up being a beggar with no home, walking the streets of Marley as a homeless little girl. No matter how bad I think her character is, this isn't right for a little girl. It's not right for anyone. At the time though, she was manipulated into joining a cult, and since she was nameless, she was given the name Ymir, named after the ancient deity Ymir Fritz. With her being granted this name, she was praised by many Eldians, and she felt as though she had to fulfill some sort of role, making people quote-unquote happy, something that would later bite her in the ass, her thinking that she always has to fulfill some sort of role. Eventually, Marley and Authority find out about this cult, and she's sold out to be the manipulator, when in fact she was the manipulated, which is fucked up. But it doesn't matter because all of them are thrown off the same ledge in the end, and all turn into Titans. Now let's fast forward 60 years into the future. You have bitch-ass Reiner, bitch-ass Gilliard, fuckboy Annie, and fuckboy Bertolt, on the way to fuck Parody in the ass. Here comes Ymir, who's been asleep for however many years, and eats Gilliard in his attempt to save Reiner. She then turns into the Jaw Titan, the Titan Gilliard had at the moment. She then runs away, and we find her years later in the 104th. And here's when we really get to know Ymir for who she is. An arrogant, know-it-all lesbian who thinks she's the shit, when in reality she's a depressed 75-year-old hag who's in a 14-year-old's body. During her time in the 104th, she develops a close relationship with Historia Rice, which, might I add, is strictly platonic, friendship only. I'm a firm believer that Historia's sexuality is up for question, and nobody can tell me otherwise. I wonder how Ymir's ghost felt when she seen Historia getting plowed by whoever the baby father is. Ymir did have some talent though, I'm not gonna lie. She could read people like a damn book, deciphering things like Reiner's personality disorder and Historia's fake personality. Ymir doesn't do too much besides that though until we get to her big arc. But when you finally do get to the Clash of Titans arc, you have the Scouts at a big tower in the middle of nowhere with absolutely no gear. A recipe for disaster indeed. Ymir is seen reading something of a language that nobody should know, something that is not native, a parody. So how could she be able to read this? How? Lucky enough, Reiner is the one to see her reading this. Hummus. Someone not native from the land himself, someone who's undercover with a larger motive than exposing Ymir. Fast forward to the tower being absolutely devoured by Titan, the result of Zeke's spinal fluid, might I add, being given to the people of Connie's village. With almost no option for help, Ymir then turns into a Titan in front of everyone, just baffling them. This being quite literally the only useful thing she ever does in the show. She's fighting all these Titans and she can't even do that right. She needs backup, she needs help, and here comes the Scouts to save her ass. It's all fine and dandy after that. We now have two fucking Titan shifters on our hands. What the fuck? On the way back to Trost, the infamous traitor reveal happens. Damn you! You traitors! You know how Eren is, blah blah blah. We all know that Eren got cooked by Reiner and Bertolucci, and they take Ymir and Eren into the woods. Here Ymir has the opportunity to transform. Take Eren and leave. It's as simple as that. A very easy thing to do. But she decides to not put her faith into Eren and instead side with Reiner and Bertolini. She makes a deal with them that she'll go with them if she can go back and get Krista, who in my opinion is just as stupid as Ymir, if not more dumb. But with Ymir having the opportunity to just leave, she could have prevented so much. Erwin not getting his arm chopped off. Hane's not dying. I guess the only good thing that came out of this is the fact that Eren found out that he's the founding Titan. And to that, I am thankful for Ymir's stupidity. It benefited humanity in the long run, and isn't that what she wanted to do in the first place? Her decision to run off with Bert and Reiner still questioned me when she could have came back to Parody. Her feeling as though she had to atone for her sins or some shit just isn't logical thinking. Having survivor's guilt for killing a future monster is beyond me. But I can't say too much else about Ymir besides that she's an overrated character. She doesn't deserve nearly the amount of credit she gets. And at the end of the day, her decision making is why she's dead.